Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Young Chief Growth Officer Dialogue. So in the 21st century, we see a lot of new products being built, a lot of new mobile apps, a lot of new web applications being built. And there's a lot of funding coming in for startups too, and a lot of new businesses taking off. But then a lot of businesses just die very early. While people can make fantastic products, one big problem statement which startups face is how do you hack your growth? You may not have the huge budgets which a Coke or a Pepsi might have. You may not be able to afford a Shah Rukh Khan right away. But how do you get that usage of your product and how do you get revenues of your product? How do you work on the two KPIs of usage and revenue? This is why growth hacking has emerged as one of the most important functions for companies. And although it seems to be more of a startup function, even in the corporates, I think growth hacking and growth marketing seem to be very interesting areas where you can use data, and it's a very cross-functional area with product, technology, data, and marketing can come together to drive the growth of the company. So wouldn't it be fantastic to have young minds discuss some ideas of growth hacking? So today we are having two teams, Team Deep Thought and Team Kringle, discussing how they will hack the retention of their company, how they'll try and retain the clients of their company. And this discussion is basis the book Hacking Growth by Sean Ellis. Hacking Growth by Sean Ellis. So one of the chapters of the book is called Hacking Retention. In this book, Hacking Growth. So we'll be discussing this topic today. So on this note, I'd like to request both the teams to introduce yourself. If one of the teams can go ahead first, we'd appreciate that. Yeah.
Can we go ahead first?
Sure, Tushar, please go ahead.
Yeah. Hello, good evening, everyone. I'm Tushar Agarwal, a budding researcher and growth hacker at Deep Thought, and currently I'm a member of product hacking team's Blue Ocean Lab. And just to give you a glimpse of Deep Thought, Deep Thought is a human capital development company moving forward with a vision of growing and building torch bearers for society. We are solving problem of lack of innovation and leadership qualities in students by training them with our L&D process and getting them to contribute in projects of companies within 2 to 3 weeks. Now, I would like my teammates to introduce themselves.
Good evening, everyone. I am Paras Mazumdar, also a budding researcher and a growth hacker from Deep Thought. Thank you.
Hello, good evening, everyone. I am Ronak Gotra, a software developer in Deep Thought, and I'm contributing in Project Manager right now. And yes.
Yeah, thank you, Ronak. Over to your team, Kringle.
Good evening, everyone. So my name is Jansi. I'm from Kringle, and I'm a team leader. So here are we going to project about customer retention today, and I would like to introduce my teammates as well. So we are technical product manager interns at Kringle. Thank you.
Hi everyone, good evening. I am Hemant Pachkari. I joined as a product management intern in Kringle, and now I'm here. Yeah.
Hello everyone. Good evening. I am Kanchi and I'm currently working as technical product manager intern at Kringle. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Kanchi. Now we request the jurors to introduce yourself if one of you wants to go ahead.
Hey all, so myself, Divyansh, I have been into the growth hacking roles for last 7 years. I have scaled 4 to 5 companies from scratch to a minimum of $2-3 million revenue an year. And here I am to share some of my experiences and some of the things which worked for me and some of the things which didn't work for me. So looking forward to it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, welcome, Divyansh. Yeah. Professor Pushpendu, I saw you go in with your introduction. Would you like to?
Yes, good evening, everybody. I am Pushpendu Biswas from Sanghavi College of Engineering. So I went through some other topic like teacher retention ratio. So how to maintain that one. So other retention ratios are there, but now it is a very good thing. There is a customer retention ratio, and they were working on that. This is a very good topic. I'm interested. So I'm with you. So let be going on. What is happening? So I will need to see. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Welcome, Professor Pushpendu, and I hope this will also help you address the teacher retention problems.
Yes, I'm looking into that part.
Yeah. Sure. We request one of the other jurors to go ahead with your introduction.
Hi, this is Venk.
You're on mute, Professor Venkatesan. Professor Venkatesan, could you unmute yourself? Professor Venkatesan.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, I have not unmuted.
Yeah.
This is Venkatesan from Bharatiyar University, Coimbatore. I take care of the placements. That's it. Waiting for the whole conversation to go. Thank you.
Welcome, Professor Venkatesan.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I'm Uma Bakshi. I'm the head of the Department of Management and from Avinash College of Commerce, Hyderabad. So, and I take care of the placements. Also, I'm the global jury for Wadhwani Foundation, National Network Entrepreneurship. So they conduct several pitches like this. And then I was one of the jury members for them also. So good luck to all the team members.
Yeah. Thank you, Uma ma'am. So now I request my co-moderators to go ahead with your introductions. So,
one thing I want to add over here, that I am the training and placement officer also. I am the HOD of the department. So as well as I am the developing some web applications. I have the so many softwares and internet. So this is a startup that is really good to see, because so many times and for a long time I am trying for that to build something that will be worked on in the market. So Pushpindu Studio, that is my one of the software, and so many other softwares are there in the market. So why you want to see is how it is you are growing, and I will follow that one. It may be possible in future, it will be happen for me. So as a training and placement officer, I need that our students should be get some benefits from here. So this is a one important part for me. So really I'm looking into your activities, so it will be helpful to us. Okay, thank you.
yeah, so I request my co-mods to go ahead with your introductions.
You can start. Yes.
Yeah, hello everyone. I am young lead of product researchers team from Deep Thought.
Palash, after you.
Hi everyone, my name is Palash and I work as a TPM at Deep Thought.
Good evening everyone. I'm Rohit. I'm a course moderator and the TPM of the Rigor Lab at Deep Thought.
Hi everyone, this is Tarun here. I'll be your moderator for the day and I hope you enjoy the discussion. So in case you don't, probably you can hold me accountable. That's my role for today. So yeah, so the topic for today is hacking retention. So there is a lot of interesting principles in the book Hacking Growth, written by Sean Ellis. So today both the teams have decided to focus on one simple principle, which is the 3 phases of retention. The initial phase of retention. So Sean Ellis looks at 4 stages. First is acquisition. How do you get customers? Second is activation. Once your customer buys your product, how do you get them to start using it? And the third phase is retention. So in retention, again, Sean Ellis breaks it into 3 subphases. 3.1, which is the initial retention, where you're trying to get them to use it consistently. 3.1, where you're getting them to use it consistently. 3.2, where you're trying to make it a habit. You try to make your product a habit. Because if you look at the most successful apps today, they're addictive, right? The UX has done so well. The UX has done so well that it becomes a habit. Look at Instagram, LinkedIn, and all of them. They kind of are habits on a daily basis. So that's 3.2 to make it a habit. 3.1, consistent usage. And 3.3 is, to show more benefit, show more value, and take off from there, right? Because your customer is already seeing it as a habit. So starting with acquisition, where you get the customer to buy your product, moving into activation, where your customer uses your product. 3.1, where there's a little more consistent usage, where you're getting the user to see the value of the product and get more consistent usage. 3.2, where you make it a habit. And 3.3 is where you take off, because the customer is already seeing it as a habit. You maybe get retention, renewal, referrals, future revenues, and all these amazing things start happening once you get to the last stage. So this is the principle which both the teams have picked up for today's discussion. So Team Deep Thought is presenting the product of Deep Thought, while Team Kringle would be presenting the product of Kringle, and both of them would be implementing this 3 phases of retention principle there. So I'm hoping that all of us go back home today with a deeper understanding of this principle of retention, which I think a lot of companies are facing today. So on this note, I'd like to request both my teams who would like to go in first into the answer box.
Yeah, we'll go. Team Deep Thought.
Okay. Thank you for the initiative, Team Deep Thought. So here's your 1 quick minute to present your pitch.
Sure. Thank you, Tarun. So, as my teammate Tushar also told about our Deep Thought, that Deep Thought is a human capital development company helping companies, the most wanted innovator thinkers for their product, which are ready in 2-3 weeks with our L&D methodologies. So, first of all, to ensure a proper growth of a company, high acquisition is not enough. Making sure the customers who come stay for a long time allows the company to track its growth and deliver best solutions to problem who doesn't want such a growth, right? So here's what we do to hack retention and ensure growth of DT. We would do cohort analysis where we categorize them based on the date of acquisition, source of acquisition, number of visits or purchases made. So to get the why answered and get the data on retention rate. Then we divide the retention process into 3 stages because as we build our relationship with clients, their needs and desires changes, and so does method of retention that evolve accordingly. So first, the initial retention phase, where we guide them here through our services like SDLMS, intern training process, our hiring practices, so the better they understand our product, the better. 360-degree, the usage metrics will subsequently go up. Next, in the middle retention phase, where the usage of product would...
Paras, we lost you for a while.
Yes, yes.
Wait, was I the only one who lost him, or you guys also couldn't hear him?
We lost him too.
Yeah, we lost
So
him.
Paras, can you go over it again?
We also lost it.
Yeah. Paras, can you go over your 3 phases once again?
From where? Audible now?
Paras, seems like you have some network issues. So can someone else pitch, please? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can go ahead. So we have 3 phases. The first one is the initial retention phase, where we guide them through our services like SDLMS, intern training process, and our hiring practices, where they see the value of using the product. Next, we have the middle retention phase, where the usage of the product would be incorporated in their routine. We'll use the hook model here, where each time they join a meeting, they get a trigger to use Thread Builder, which is one of our products, and we reward them accordingly. Finally, we have long-term retention phase where we keep them hooked with our current product, by introducing interesting features without overwhelming them with many at once, and promising upcoming products such as our PDGMS, which includes Rigor Builder, Feynman Builder, etc. And in some instances, we also involve some customers with engagement in our beta simulations and prototypes to get them engaged. And in the process, sorry.
Please go ahead.
Yeah. In the process, we continuously experiment new ideas and survey customers to understand, their changing and unmet needs, which would also help us in resurrecting zombie customers. And hence, we hack retention and bring significant growth and deep.
Okay. Thank you, Tushar. But just so that my other team is also on the same page. So what is the business that you're into? What's the problem that your business is solving? You're on mute, Tushar.
Yes. So we are a human capital development country, and we are going to provide some of the leaders in those client companies who can create substantial growth in those companies, who can immediately start contributing the projects.
What do you mean by immediately start contributing to projects?
Yes. So what happens is most like the normal interns, they are not able to create values in the projects immediately right after getting acquired and activated. So with our training process, we train them so that they can start contributing as soon as they are
this part is clear, but what is the innovation and leaders bit?
Yes. So, in the leaders part, so when they are good leader, they would be able to execute the projects much properly. And with innovative...
So why are you training interns to be leaders and not senior employees?
Okay, because we want those, young leaders to join those projects and have that fresh, mindset and that.
So the business seems clear. What are you doing for the first phase of retention?
Yes. Okay, so for the first phase, we are going to introduce, let them see the value of our product. So we will make them go through the SDLMS where they will use several products such as the Thread Builder, Eagle Builder, and we'll make them use them.
Okay, and phase 2?
Okay, in phase two, we want them to consistently use those products, consistent uses of the product. So, we would try to incorporate those practices in their routine, and we would have triggers so that whenever they join meetings, they get a trigger of using Thread Builder. So we are what problem we are trying to solve is let's say using Thread Builder, the interns would be hearing everything properly and being able to comprehend, and also using those concepts in their work.
Okay. Thank you, Tushar. So over to Team Kringle for your questions.
I mean, can you elaborate about how SDLMS will help in initial retention specifically?
Yeah, so initially by the STLMS, we meant the products of our company that gives them the consistent use, that we check the consistency of the customers they are using, like the thread builder. STLMS incorporates of like thread builder, eagle builder, and different things, so that they will be getting consistent with our product by the
Paras,
benefits
you've
of
not
it.
answered his question. His question is, how will it help with your early retention?
Yeah, in the early retention, they see the benefits of the product by using them. So we'll guide them through the initial phase.
So how does the STLMS help with the early retention? Is his question. Did I get that right, Hemant?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so by using the products which are in the SDLMS as a Thread Builder, they would start thinking about the products that we have. So when they start thinking, then they would understand the product, and hence there would be initial retention.
Okay, so they will understand, get more clarity about the product, like that.
Yeah.
How are you making sure that they understand it?
By guiding them through we can give them the guiding videos for that, how to use those products. We can give them how to use optimally those products. So we'll handhold them through the guiding process.
Sorry, Tushar, I don't think you've answered the question, because the question was, how does STLMS help you with the retention? You are saying they'll understand to use my product and that's how it will get retention. I'm sorry, this seems like a Rahul Gandhi answer to me. Doesn't answer the question. How does the STLMS help you in getting the retention is the question.
Okay, so when they start using the SDLMS, it would be an initiation in their training process. So when they start working, we have already activated them, but there's this initiation needed in the training phase. So through our initial phase period, we initiate.
Again, I'm sorry, you're just beating around the bush, and I'm not sure if your answer has any substance. You're saying they start using my product, so they will get retained. I mean, you can remove SDLMS and put any product and your answer still stays the same. You have not answered.
Can we ask why would they use that product?
Yeah, open to anybody in Team Deep Thought.
Because we'll guide them through the value of the product they are getting.
What is the value of the product is what we're trying to understand. You've been giving just to us, but can you tell us what is the value of the product?
Yeah, so the value relies in in the SDLMS, there is thread builder. So what's the value of using thread builder is, who is using the thread builder is, you can ensure that they are actively listening to the meeting, they are actively participating in the meeting and getting the concept clear. So
how
the
does
deep
thread builder help them in actively listening and actively participating?
Because in the thread builder, there are two concepts of writing your threads in the, what's the discussion is going on. You can write your own thread there, and you can on the right you can write the interpretation of what you got from that particular thread. And by the character count, you can see how many people are actively listening and actively participating in the meeting. And there are also buttons of eureka moments, or getting or you are questioning those threads, or you are answering those threads. So you are taking participate in the meeting and actively listening also.
So
That we are ensuring.
how does this help you with your early retention?
Because they are seeing the value of using this product. So
what is the value they would see of this product?
What?
What is the value they would see of this product?
Because their people are like who is attending those meetings, or who is using those products, are adding like productively executing the project by this.
So how is your product ensuring that people are productively executing their projects?
Because they are getting deeply understand the concept which are conveying in the meeting.
Okay, so if I understand concepts properly, does it mean I'll be able to productively execute?
Yeah, from from somewhere it can be, because if you are getting the concept right and you are implementing those concepts in your project, so that can be productive.
Okay. Over to you, Team Kringle.
Shall we go ahead with our pitch?
No, I mean your questions.
So, what is your plan for the next phases, the medium phase and the final phase of retention?
Okay, in the medium phase, we will make sure that in the initial phase they started using the product. Right now, we'll ensure that they constantly use that product of ours. So what we would do is, we would use the hook model, which would allow us to use triggers to like incorporate those methods.
What is a hook model?
Yes. So the hook model, okay. So using the hook model, okay, it starts with a trigger. So we first have to send the trigger to people.
What is the hook model?
Okay, it's a model that allows the customers to get hooked to the product.
What is the hook?
Okay, there are 4 steps, and they are like triggering.
Yeah.
And
okay. Yeah. So in the hook model, there are 4 steps by which we can hook them to our product. So the 4 steps are trigger, action, reward, and investment. So we'll use this model to hook them through our product. So like if we use trigger, like just take an example of thread builder. If you use the trigger, so they are making a habit of using thread builder in each of their meeting, because they are getting results from this. So they are using the thread builder as a trigger. Then in the action they are using it in the meeting, and as a reward we can give them as a like in the if they have used at a certain threshold, they have used those thread builder in their meeting, so they can give a level up or have a star of it, and so that they can ensure their interns that they are getting their level up and they are enhancing their learning through it. And by the investment, we mean that if they are productively using those particular features, so they will invest more in our new features and new products.
Okay. Back to you, Team Kringle.
I mean, I understand what is said, but can you give a little bit more, I mean, a synopsis of the 4 steps? Sorry for that. If that's okay. Yeah.
So Hemant, if I can paraphrase what he has said.
Okay.
He said every time when there's an event, he will send a trigger so that people use, whenever there's a meeting, people use the thread builder.
Okay.
Whoever is using the thread builder enough, they reward by giving a badge or something. And
Got it.
and they also show that this person has leveled up and so on. This
So,
were the points
yeah.
which you mentioned.
Yeah. So, I mean, in many cases, batch doesn't work. So why do you think batch will work there rather than going for any other thing?
Yeah, like by the badges, they can because that badge will make their profile go good because look good because the badge will have some validation that you are an active listener, so your profile will get built.
Okay.
I have another question. So the hook model comes under an engagement loop. It starts with trigger, action, rewards, and investment. And there is another connection between investment and then coming back to trigger. So you haven't clearly explained how investment again can come back to the trigger. So could you answer that?
Yeah, sure. The by the investment, there like it's a virtuous cycle of trigger, action, reward, and investment. So by the investment, if they are investing in more of our products because they got results from our previous product, so they'll invest in more, and the product which they are invested will again start sending them triggers for their product to use them.
But how sure are you that the trigger that you have been sending second time will work? How do you want to make sure of that?
How do you ensure? So let's say one product of yours is working, and that product sends a trigger. Your product A is working, and your product A sends a trigger. How do you make sure that this trigger works for sure? Your product A has already worked. How do you make sure the trigger sent by product A works? Good question, Kanchi. And if I can add to this question, would this be any different from would the second trigger be different from your first trigger?
Yeah, like each trigger will be different, and each trigger has a specific triggers are specific. Triggers will be specifically built for the products we are using. So if we'll ensure that
random answer. I want a focused answer. Your trigger which you're sending after the success of the first product, is it different from a fresh trigger that you send out?
Yeah, it will be different.
Is it just like any other trigger? A trigger which you sent after the success of the first product, is it like any other trigger or is it different from any other trigger?
For the same product, it will be same, but for the different product, it will be a different trigger. Like for a rigor builder, it will be a different
I've already
product.
used the thread builder. I've already used the thread builder. I'm very happy with the thread builder. Now you're sending me a trigger versus I've not used anything and you're sending me a trigger for an eagle builder or rigor builder. You're sending me a trigger for an eagle builder. Scenario 1. You're sending me a trigger for the eagle builder. Scenario 2. You loved my thread builder. And now I'm sending you a trigger for rigor builder. Are both the triggers going to be different or are they going to be the same?
They will be different in the sense that since the person has already used thread builder, we can use recognition as a medium of trigger. For example, we can say that last time you created 10,000 threads. Now, do you want to create more?
You want to create more?
Like not specifically that, but we just used their past progress
Do you see a need to connect the thread builder with the rigor builder in the second trigger? I'm loving the thread builder. Do you see a need to connect the thread builder with the rigor builder for your second trigger?
Yeah, we'll connect all the products in a particular trigger. Yeah, there is a need of connection.
What kind of need?
Like if we send a trigger for a thread builder, the trigger will also be for a eagle builder or a rigor builder there. So it's a in the particular. Yeah.
I'm selling pizzas to you. You love my pizzas. Now I want to send a trigger for a burger. Do I connect the pizza to the burger and then send a trigger for the burger?
Yeah, in
Yes,
some
we
kind of like
can. The
yeah,
password.
yeah, like in if we can send the trigger in the way like if you like that pizza before, so you will love this burger also. Let's check. Let's see.
Okay. That's a poor trigger, actually, to be honest. You have not encashed the success of your first trigger. Would you want to go ahead and say something like, you loved thread building, you built 10,000 threads. Now, do you want to improve the quality of your threads? The rigor builder can help you improve the quality of your threads. Where I can build on the success of my first trigger and make my second trigger work, which is why I thought Kanchi's question is a beautiful question. Where I'm not starting from the clean slate, I already have a success to ride on top of.
Yeah, correct. Like that, we can use it.
Yeah. Thank you, Team Kringle, for the questions. Now we'd like to take a few jury questions, and then we'll move to Team Kringle. If any of the members of the jury have questions, we'd love to take them. Yeah, Divyansh, I saw you on mute. Please go ahead.
Yeah, so the first question I have is how do you ensure the activation? That is the first phase of your
Divyansh,
product.
again, beyond the scope. So today we're discussing only retention.
Yeah. Okay, so see, while you are building retention, let's say suppose there are three products A, B, and C. Your users are using product A, right? So as per your understanding, the trigger to purchase the next product should be a superset of the product A or a subset of product A.
Can you elaborate on what you mean by superset of trigger A and subset?
So see, basically, let's say you're solving a problem with your thread builder, right? So the next trigger for the next product should solve a bigger problem, or it should go into more niche of that problem, whosoever is loving your thread builder. So if still it's tough, so basically you are running a burger shop, your burgers are doing well, right? So now you have 10,000 customers purchasing your burger. Would you wish to go into a different category that can be pizza or pasta, or you want to go more into the niche and you can experiment more with the burgers only?
I think
We will first,
Yeah,
we will first ask customers what they actually need after burger, right? Want the feedback, and after they give their feedback, like I want this pizza to be included in the menu as well. We'll also include pizza there. And if they want to add more add-ons on burger, we will just put add-ons onto the burger. So coming back to the context in deep thought, what we'll do after a person learns about thread builder, he gets onto the thread builder, he just wrote 1000 thread builders, let's suppose, and now we want to trigger this for a different builder like a rigor builder or something else. So
Ronak, let me
yeah.
stop you here and reiterate what Divyansh said. Divyansh, I think the example was slightly misleading because the example focused on the product, while I think your intention is to question the problem.
Yeah.
So Divyansh's question is this: you tried to trigger around one problem, right? And people are loving your solution to problem A.
Yeah.
So now do you build the next trigger which you send? Say for problem B, would problem B be a subset of problem A?
Exactly.
Or would it be a completely different problem? The new problem for which you send a trigger, would it be a subset of problem A or would it be a completely different problem?
I would say a subset, because you're taking example of thread builder. Let's say the people had problem with listening skills. Now with thread builder, they solved those listening skill problems. Now we introduce rigor builder, which would allow them to properly use the thread builder and have that better like in the thread builder itself, they were having some problem with giving a proper structure to their threads. Now using rigor builder, they would be able to use arguments properly, which would allow them to have better threads.
What do you mean by use arguments properly?
No, in rigor builder, we have like this arguments and like the rigor builder is about arguments, right? So when we have that proper structure in our mind, when we design those, when we create those threads, we'll be able to, like, the interpretation, the thread creation part, we can have better flow of arguments.
Okay, Divyansh, in the interest of time, I'll cut this here. But
Yeah.
Divyansh, to give you an understanding of Rigor Builder, basically what we're doing right now is kind of what Rigor Builder does. Ask a lot of questions and bring that element of rigor where we're evaluating the logic in a greater degree of depth.
Yeah.
So you're saying you're not just listening, but now you're
Thinking
subjecting your
also.
logic to surgical precision.
Yeah.
Of questioning. So you're building on the original problem.
Okay.
So thank you, team Deep Thought. I think you gave us a deeper understanding of growth hacking right now. And it is a beautiful articulation by the judge that you try to build on a subset of the original problem and encash the success you already got from the first trigger. This is the beauty of a Socratic dialogue, right? That Kanchi brings in a good question and then Divyansh builds on top of it. And now we have a deeper understanding of this concept. So over to you, team Kringle. You can go ahead with your pitch. Yeah. Firstly, you can introduce your business and then how you're using the 3 phases of retention in your business. Yeah. Yeah, Jansi, if I think you're going in. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, so we are from Kringle. So what Kringle offers is, it is a loyalty and reward-based solution program. So what is meant by loyalty and reward-based solution program? I'll tell you. So after an existence, like businesses face a crucial problem of retaining customers. So retaining of a customer of any company is like an important aspect, which because retention is the only thing we can cross-check the probability and like high probability to sustain in the market. And also this is where the Kringle comes into the picture and offers the loyalty and reward-based solutions. Because what Kringle has does is it provides solutions to businesses to add the value to the system, so that by following these things they can actually come back to the position where they have been in
Jansi, I want to just stop you here, and Hemant, do you want to just take over from here to explain what Kringle does? Yeah.
Yeah, so we provide various methods like gamifications. Maybe you have seen in Amazon, there is a spin the wheel feature. Also in GPay, you have seen the scratch card thing. So that services also we provide that helps in retention and engagement, increasing them. So yeah, it's more about the Kringle part. So should I go? Okay, Jhansi, do you want to go with the phases? Phases of retention?
Please go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, so in the initial phase, we would like to address the customers, like clients who have come to the Kringle, by giving them complete broad understanding of how this product works and how this product adds them value, by giving the brief explanations of demonstrating them end to end how this integration does in their system. And we would explain them with user manuals, different videos, and we will go on with the demo sessions and give them a broader explanation and how this can solve their actual business problems. So yes, in the initial phase we would like to address the consistency part of how they can use this to resolve their problems. And in the middle part, Kanchi would like to go on.
Yeah, in the next phase, we would like to make sure that they use the product consistently. Like the product should not, it usually happens that once you know the product, the novelty of the product fades away. So we need to make sure that the customer or the client of Kringle is using our products effectively and consistently. Like we will also provide them with data how, if they are using our gamification features for a week, for a month, or for yearly basis, and how it has brought a change in their retention of their clients. And and we would like to create a habit of using our features again and again in this middle phase. And Hemant will continue how we would like to create a long-term retention for our clients.
Yeah, so basically we want them to use our new products. I mean, as we now have data, as Kanchi said, so now we want them to make a longer relation with us. So we can use 3 R's like revenue, referral, and I'm sorry,
Enable.
yeah, renewable. Also, there is a now a new vertical which we can experiment. So as we have data, so that's one thing also. Yeah. Also, if other people want to add something to it.
No, I think that's good for the pitch. So over to team.
Okay.
Start for your questions. Yeah.
Yeah, so Kanchi, you talked about in the middle phase creating the habit. How are you creating the habit?
Yeah, got your question, Paras. What do you think?
So creating habit in the sense of it can be, making first we need to make them know like what is the product, and then creating an impact, like giving them a proper solution, and trying that the end customer is happy, so that they come back
What
again
you're
and
doing
again
in
to
phase
us.
Isn't this what you're doing in phase 1 already?
Here in phase 2, we are trying to, give them a better results. In phase 1, we are trying to make them use the product. But in phase 2, we are trying to get the results and then show that, yes, it
In
is.
phase 1, aren't you trying to get results?
We have, but in phase 2, we are trying to get a better form of results so that they come again.
How?
So we provide them with data. So like we can provide them
Phase
with
1, don't you give them data?
We do. We do.
Then what's different in phase 2?
So in phase 2, we try to create that difference, what they are being missed in the phase from phase 1 to phase 2.
How?
Consistency.
We are
Like
trying to generate an interest by giving them more deeper understanding to our product.
Why aren't you doing that in phase 1?
Yeah.
Because,
Actually, yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Sorry, Kanchi.
So why are we doing this in phase 2? Because doing all of these things in phase 1, like you're telling them about the product, you're telling them the usage of the product, giving them a deeper understanding of product, it will not, it will create a chaos in phase 1. So to make it a bit more in a planned way, we will try to create a better interest, like
At a result level,
interest.
what difference do I see in the results of phase 1 and results of phase 2? What difference do I see as your client?
Yeah, in phase 1, they will have a complete overview of what it does. And now in phase 2, they will be waiting for something new. And
What is something new you give?
they are habituated for the
What is something new you're giving?
Yeah, we will be integrating it with the new like we will be upgrading the things and we will be integrating new things.
I thought this is what you're doing in phase 3. What are you doing in phase 2?
Yeah, I want to add here. Actually, we will send them what you can say impact it created. I mean the negative and positive impact if they use our product or not use our product. So what we want is we want some dependency on us, because we don't want them to see ki, yeah, they made the code, they did the service, and now they can change internally, they can manage the system. That's what we don't want. So what we will do, we will show them how we are creating impact in their product or their company.
Okay,
Also to add
three of you are telling me 3 different stories. Jansi is saying she'll add new products. Hemant is saying if you use me, what is happening? If you don't use me, what is happening? That I'll tell. Kanchi is telling that I'll give deeper data. So what are you doing?
No,
Jhansi is trying to tell ki she will just give a hint about new product, that this product is going to come soon. She's creating an interest that this product is going to come soon. She's not introducing the feature. She's just telling you this is going to come soon, and you can like in this way the client can retain.
We are giving little bit of excitement. Yeah,
but my fundamental question was, how are you creating the habit?
Right. I will answer that.
Yeah.
So if I am sharing, like Kringle is sharing that the impact which we are creating, the negative or positive impact weekly to our client. So from that they are aware of us. They are not completely forgotten. So that creates, I mean, that will take them back to us. So slowly, gradually, they will be using our product more, creating a habit.
What he's trying to tell is, if you say that by using a product consistently, your sales went up by 30%. This week you reduce the usage, your sales went down by 10%. So they know what is happening when they use and what is happening when they don't use. They're educating them on that.
Yeah.
That will slowly build the habit in them. So Kanchi, going to your thread, right, where you said you'll offer them some data and through data, you'll make them improve the way they're using the product. So how is that going to help them build a product when they're slowly learning how to do it better?
So, yeah, so we can give them a weekly analysis, a monthly analysis, or a 6-month analysis. And suppose a client is regularly is with us and trying to implement our features into their company. So they can see the constant change in their constant change in their retention.
That's what Hemant said. My question is different. My question is the client has used your product enough. Your client has 1,000 data points or something. Let's say your client has data of 1,000 users on your platform. So now what can your client do? Your client are already sitting on so much of data on the platform, so much of consumer data on your platform.
I think they can try to introduce the other features that we already have.
Being a smart growth hacker. Again, you're not leveraging what you already have. Your client has data of 1,000 people on your platform. What do?
Aim for 2,000.
Yeah.
You're being a typical college student. You're not being a growth hacker. You have 1,000 people's data on your platform.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Yeah. So consider a game, spin the wheel. Now I have data of certain target. I got a data of 1,000 people. I can segregate them in different. I will get the data of segregation. How which age group is going. Playing the game like that. So accordingly, I can target. Also, that way I can customize my product, which will eventually lead to more engagement and retention.
Going to use cohort analysis.
Yes.
Yeah, Kanchi, do you want to go in?
Yeah, we can do the cohort analysis and try to bring up the patterns that we have seen in the data, and then try for the using those patterns, we can form the further decisions.
So is your client in a much better spot when there's a lot of data sitting on your platform?
Definitely.
And would that be one of the tools you'd use to build a habit when your client is learning how to leverage the data and get better?
Yes.
Yes.
So what would you do in phase 2 then? Apart from telling the benefits of usage and the losses of usage, not lack of usage, what would you do with the data? What kind of education would you be giving your clients so that it becomes a habit to get on Kringle and see stuff every day?
So there is also one thing which we found while researching, that is game market fit. So what we were doing is we were specifying a game to certain kind of company. So that data also we can use, which help them take off. Am I answering your question?
Yes, you are, but I don't think the audience is getting it. You may have to elaborate a bit so that everyone gets it.
Okay, got it. So I will go with an example. Consider a toy company. So we have many games like spin the wheel, word search, and many other games, roll the dice, all of them. So which game we should target for that company, which game we should use for that company? So what we will do is, what we found in research is roll the dice is very old game, and it is more familiar to Indian people, from age 3. This is very relevant. So that's what we found in research. So smaller age groups can play that game very conveniently, other than other games. So that helped in pitching it for that company, implementing it for that company. That's a game market fit. If we had gone through other game, that wouldn't be as relevant as this game, that is roll the dice.
So what I think Hemant is trying to say is, for different markets, different games work. Like how we talk of product market fit, like this product is useful for this market or something like that. So this game can be used to engage this market. This game can be used to engage this market. So everyone is talking of gamification in the 21st century. Every company wants to gamify. But how do you gamify in the best possible way for different markets? How do you take different kinds of games is what Kringle can help you with by bringing, personalized gamification for different customers is what I think Hemant is trying to convey there. Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
I have a question. Like, how will you keep the customers hooked for the value in future? Like, how will you use the hook model here in the gamification thing?
Kanchi, do you want to answer this?
Yeah, sure. So what we can do is, like now that we have introduced your feature, you want end customers to use it again and again. So we have a feature called probability of winning. Okay, so in the probability of winning, in the initial stages, we can set the probability low, and then in further stages, we can keep increasing the probability of winning so that the end customer comes again and again and play it. That is what, that is what's specified to the gamification.
What if they don't come?
I think Tushar, if I'll tell you to play a game 5 times, and if you win 3 times out of 5 times, I'm sure you will come back again to
This
use
question is what if you don't?
I mean, see, it's not like we can retain 100% of the customers always, right? They can. I believe that the majority of people would retain, but yes, there is a possibility
Okay, back
that
to Tushar. She says a significant chunk would be retained. Back to you.
But what if most of them don't come?
Okay, thank you. Back to you, Kanchi.
I think we would try to improve. Like we would try to take up their pain points and why did they leave and why did not retain by doing surveys and going through doing surveys for the end client and talking to one-on-one in meetings with our clients.
What if they don't talk to you? What if they don't answer your service?
I think we will lose a client.
No, but if they
What
are
if
paying
no
for
one
service,
answers?
they'll discuss. If they are paying you for a service, they'll discuss their pain points. That's slightly unrealistic.
So apart from talking to them, what else can you do to understand the pain points? Apart from talking to people, you're a tech company.
I think again we can go through the data and see the patterns, like what is lagging and what we can improvise and what else we can do with the patterns given in the data.
You want to look at the heat maps of your product, UX heat maps. There are heat maps which tell you, where
which all features and buttons are being used the most of the times.
Okay.
Again, you're a technology company.
Okay, so I have a question. Basically, in the stage 2, right? When you are introducing new products, right? So do you think innovating with new products will be a pro or a con? Like it will be a boon or a bane for your retention of the customers?
I mean, it depends. Like if we are making a new product on existing data, which have worked, I mean, which needs to be implemented, that will work for us, then we should. If we don't have relevant data supporting that the new feature should be built, then it's not worth it. I mean, we need data to back up if we are building a product. If there is a need, we should make it
what if you don't have the data?
Yeah, exactly. I was also thinking of the same. Let's say you have just a client who has like 100 to 150 active customers, right? But still you have to move to the stage 2 for them. Otherwise, you lose on them, right?
So like improvising our existing product will be more preferred. Yeah, should be.
What if you have a very good new product and you don't have the data to check if it will work or not? Again,
we need to experiment.
I think in that case, we already know the client. So we will be able to figure out if that particular games work for them or not.
How?
Right. In stage 2, we know, like we know about the client, right? If there is, suppose a toy store company, like Hemant gave an example before. If we have a toy store company and now they want, now we are in second phase and we are trying to figure out whether we should introduce a new game or improvise the existing one. Now, since it's a toy store and Snake and Ladder would be a relevant one there, so we can introduce this here. But I don't think, just a minute, but I don't think Snake and Ladder would be relevant in other company, like suppose a cosmetic company, right?
Okay, but how do you know it will work in your toy company?
Because it's just like Hemant said, it would be like a snake and ladder could be a good game market fit.
So see,
Because
sorry
our
to
typical
interrupt,
college
but
student think this is not our growth market, you think.
but see, growth marketing doesn't works with the intuitions.
Correct.
Right. You have to always come up with things which has some relevance with the data points and some proven thought process behind that. Right. It cannot be that if it's a like a snake and ladder game, then it will work for a game or a toy company. Right. It doesn't work like that in practical world.
No,
So,
I'm suggesting that we can do this, or
Kanchi, be better listeners, please. Divyansh, second time, I guess. So can you listen to what Divyansh said? I know you're in a hurry to respond, but can you listen to what he said?
Yeah. So see, like growth marketing, growth hacking never works with the intuitions, right? Or your gut feelings, because let's say I am working as a senior manager growth for a company, right? And if I present an idea to my founder, right, they ask for the relevance data points to back it up, because my single idea can lead to a loss of crores for them if it doesn't work properly, right? So intuitions are like ruled out in this industry. So how would you like think around like this is not a fit that for a toy store, a snake and ladder game will work? That is absolute not something which will be considered by your managers or the founders.
So just to build on the previous question, I mean, Hemant, so you don't have data, but you have a strong intuitive feel that this will work. What would you do? You have a client, you have 15 customers.
Okay.
You have a client, you have 15,000 users of that client on your platform. One game has already worked. Now you have snake and ladders and you have a strong feel that it will work. You don't have data. What do you do?
Market research. We will do, I mean,
so basically 15,000 customers are there, right? Then
we will
divert 10% of the customer to a new game, and then you will see that what's the retention, what's the screen time of those users, and then if it is working well, then you'll divert 20%, then gradually 50%, and then maybe 100% of the existing users to a new game, right? That is how you do it in the real world.
Tech plus data.
But what we can do is we can think where the product will work the best. Because consider an age group. Then we can target from our 15,000 customer, we can target that age group, and to them we can experiment. That's what I was referring to.
Would that be a better strategy, or pick a random sample of 10% and see patterns in who's liking the game? When you already have a user base, you already have technology, you already have the ability to collect data. Right. Would you want to go with secondary research, or would you want to do primary research?
Yeah, that will work. If to save time, we can do the other thing. But this thing is
growth marketing, one fundamental thing people do is they first try to just experiment with diverse audience and see who's liking it, because I could be wrong.
Right.
My intuition could be wrong. Right. So when you already have a base, why not experiment and see where it is working?
Yeah, experimentation. Got it.
Because you never know, there could be a new market segment which you underestimated, and out of nowhere that market segment is like your product.
And see, if you'll compare today's growth marketing, growth hacking with 10-year-old or 8-year-old, the demographics are very much volatile these days, right? You run a campaign for a demography, and then 15 days down the line, you realize that no, this is not the right demographic. So see, age group, gender, or like their like geographical location, these things are now like not of much relevance, but the cohort concept is very much in relevance these days, right? Like this is the customer persona who is liking this, no matter whether they are in Lucknow, Delhi, Mumbai, or California, right? It's a part of cohort. It's a customer persona you have to capture. Yeah.
True.
Okay. In the interest of time, I'll have to close this here. It was a lovely discussion. We'd appreciate any reflections which one of the participants would want to share before we move to the jury remarks.
I mean, brainstorming helps. So this gave me a new clarity about things. What I was thinking before, now I got new perception to think on, new understanding. So that helped. Also, I mean, this a kind of Socratic dialogue between two teams helps get into more deeper section of things. So that's a great thing to do. Also, the jury. I mean, I'm glad that I'm associated with this company, Deep Thought. So yeah, I got to interact with you all. So that's a great thing for me. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Hemant. One more participant, if you want to go in with your reflection.
Yeah, like
Really?
Okay, Paras.
Yeah.
Yes, Paras.
Okay, so I was just building upon Hemant that also not just a new understanding. So I also got the understanding of which I had previous on like on these products. I got deep understanding on those products itself also, and also the new understanding as Hemant told. So I am also very I'm also serving the gratitude that yeah, I also got the deep understanding of the things I was talking about.
Yes, so I got so many good things from here that I learned so many things. Like the previously, what is man is thinking that whatever I am just selling out, the people are bound to take it from me only. So whatever it is a quality. So now we need to think changing our mentality that we have to if we want to stay in the market at that time I have to look into my quality and what type of service I am giving. So sometimes when we are going into the some mall at that time we are taking some materials from there. So as well as when you are taking some bread at that time we are taking from the milk also. So this type of thing we have to think that when you are purchasing something, so what is the needed other things are there in that if you will. So I'm looking into that data. So what are the things are taking when that they are taking some material at that time the correlated materials are there. That is related to it is customer may be interested. So that type of product we should include in that mode. So this type of strategy and so many things are there in the deep learning and as well as the machine learning by which we can taking care of the data and after that we can apply over there. So it is a very big thing. So it is not like that we are thinking in my way that it is maybe some other ways are there. So we have to go through that one, but it is a part of that discussion. So really it is good. And we should think about the new thing in the next generations. So how we can manage our quality and how to improve our customers and how to hack our growth. So really good thing. I'm nice to hear with you, and really I will be more happy. Though it is, if you want to chance with to work for our students, and the students are get benefited from your systems, and some introductions will be there in the future. Okay, thank you, nice to be here, and you just keep it out like that. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pushpendra. Yeah, if Uma ma'am or Divyansh, one of you wants to go ahead with your thoughts.
So another thing I want to include over here. So nowadays the customers are king. So these things we have to keep in our mind. So if the customers are here and we will be there. So if the customers left the job, left the thing, left from you, so everything will be gone. So we should taking care of the customers and we should give the services and we should look into the what are they interested in their area. So we have to keep it up. Okay.
So it's very nice to be connected with you, Deep Thought. The participants have done extremely well and they had a lot of clarity on what they are explaining. But I would like to put a little more focus on the product what they are delivering. I mean, whatever be the product, the phases what it is going through, the awareness, acquisition, and activation concepts, how they are going to activate and take it to the next levels from phase 1 to phase 2 to phase 3, how they are going to work on those phases. If they had little more clarity on that, that would definitely would have been much better. how are they going to hook? Just they say that it can be done, but I feel a little more clear observation on how they are going to use their data points, or how they are going to connect those data points, or put them into the proper alignment of connecting to the market. These are the things more if they focus on, that would have been more better. So very well organized and wonderful. All the students, all the best. Good luck to all of you.
So I am here for the second time, and it's always wonderful like connecting with all of you, like listening to your ideas, and then maybe if I have 1-2% of my share of thought, that sharing with you. So it was wonderful connecting with Deep Thought team and Kringle team as well, and looking forward to more such Socratic dialogues in future. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Thank you, Divyansh. It's always lovely, taking your questions. Always, you bring in those questions with surgical precision, which adds to the dialogue. So I'd like to, I'd like to bring in my colleagues also for a few reflections, but just thought of sharing a couple of ideas. Firstly, I think kudos to Team Kringle, kudos to Team Deep Thought. Growth hacking is a tough job. Trust me, half of founders in India have no clue of growth hacking. Just today, I was talking to one founder who was lost and clueless. She has a fantastic product. She's a fantastic product, but not able to take it to the market. So today, if you didn't have answers to a few questions, that's perfectly okay. A lot of entrepreneurs who've raised funding also have no answers to some of these questions, exactly. Which is why people like Divyansh are in huge demand globally. And growth hackers are in huge demand globally, because end of the day, you may make a great product, all right, but how do you take that product into the market? And as Divyansh rightly pointed to the changing demographics, and because consumers are so unpredictable, right? So Kanchi, that's exactly why humility is very important for a marketer, and that humility is what drives us to data. Intuition, I disagree with Divyansh. Intuition is important, but we'd want to marry that intuition with rigor, data-driven rigor. I'd want to check my intuition before pumping more dollars on it. So I think these are fantastic questions all of you have been exposed to very early in your careers. I wish I got this exposure when I was younger, facing all these questions. I would have definitely achieved my milestones of Deep Thought a little faster if I got this exposure, right? That's one thing any founder would crave for, right? To understand growth marketing so well. So I'm really happy that you guys got this exposure, really happy that you could stand your ground, really happy that you could stay confident amidst all of this. But also the adding on to what Uma ma'am said, not just saying that I will do this or this can be done, looking for those solutions in terms of how you would do it, right? How would you retain that customer? How do you use the hook model? Looking for the specifics, I think, is important, because when we interview people for senior roles, right, for CXO roles,
yeah,
one of the things we look for is, does this person have those specific answers?
Clarity of thought is very important.
Yeah, so that's what I wanted to say, but I'm glad all of you stood your ground so well on a topic as challenging as growth hacking.
The answer need not exactly fit into the situation, but still at least they should have some confidence in what specific answer they are saying. That's it.
Yeah, but Uma ma'am, usually finding those specific answers is
not so easy. I agree on that, but still that can be that kind of process we should teach them. It is necessary that they start thinking in those lines. Some answer it has to come, not just keep thinking about it.
Yeah, we completely agree with you. Just that I'm saying.
I understand. Not easy, but that is the market is demanding today. What I see. Yeah.
Correct, guys. So the question is how quickly you can get there to that position where you're able to think specifics. Today you got the exposure. Today you got to know that this is needed. How quickly you can realize this need, right? That quickly you can grow as a growth hacker. Any reflection?
Yeah.
Please, Divyansh, go ahead.
And growth hacking, which I have learned in my 7-8 years of experience, is more about proving your hypothesis wrong maybe 2 months later. The thing which I am doing today and I am thinking is correct. 2 months later, I'll myself feel that this is not the best thing. The thing which I am doing may be better than the thing which I was doing earlier, right? So we don't have to be on that line that, no, I am correct. There are always better ways to grow. We have to look for it. We have to seek for the other things, how we can do it. So that is always there in growth hacking.
Yeah. So Rohit, Palash or Mervin, any observations you made from the vantage point of being observers here?
So first things, I really enjoyed Team Kringle's back and forth, like how they pass the ball at Battle while answering and presenting their pitch. And one more thing about this whole dialogue, I didn't realize that it made us face some important questions like, what if our strategy doesn't work? Do we think about that? You know, sometimes we never plan for failure, and this is something that I'm trying to build in myself. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you, Palash. Well articulated. Yeah, Rohit, please go ahead.
I would personally like to reflect that when it came to round 2, the boundaries between jurors and teams, they were diluted and it turned into a conversation. So that was a beautiful thing to watch, and to realize concepts like MVP philosophy, lean philosophy coming in. That was also very interesting to realize.
So Rohit, how did MVP philosophy come in?
So as they said, right, like they would have this new toy and they think that it would be relevant. So when they said that you experiment with 10% of the customers already that are there. So that's where I sense the MVP philosophy.
Eric Rees, yeah.
True.
That's again another interesting theme for a Socratic dialogue, lean philosophy, which again for product management is kind of the holy grail in 21st century.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mervin, you have some observations too?
I mean, it was good. We being the product researchers, we got to know about growth hacking, and growth hackers were able to understand more about product as well through this process. So I was able to understand a lot of growth hacking with this session.
Okay. That is the whole idea, to have an intense conversation, and I'm glad all of us had a lot of takeaways at the end of the day. So we thank everyone for joining in. We appreciate your patience of, I think we're about 15 minutes late, but I'm glad we had a very intense conversation. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, guys. Have a
Thank
great
you.
time. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great
Thank
time.
you.
Thank you.